Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Right now in Kenya, okay, and me personally, I am in mourning because one of the greatest leaders of all time when it comes to Kenyan democracy, and one of the people who I really admire his policies. One thing that okay, in a nutshell, Raila Odinga passed away on Thursday, which my condolences to him. Okay, he's dead, to his family. And it is really, really, really sad. And I go scrolling on Twitter, and there are these people digging up dirt about him and saying all these things, saying that he didn't do this, he didn't do that, he was an MP in this time, he didn't do that. At the end of the day, this is somebody's father. My bad. This is somebody's father. This is somebody's husband. This is somebody's uncle. This is somebody's friend. And when people die, I feel like we should look at them at a humanly, from a humanly perspective. I lost my father when I was in Form 1, and there are people who didn't like him. But at the end of the day, he is a human being first before he is all these other things. And even if some people didn't really like my father, he was my father regardless. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. I don't know. Even if, yes, Raila did some messed up shit in his past, but then there's a lot of good things that he did. He fought for the new constitution, multi party democracy. The reason why Gen Zs were able, you can spew as much hate as you want on Twitter and everywhere else. On any social media platform, you can criticize the government as much as you want. Here in Kenya, the reason why you can do that is because Raila fought for the right of speech, of freedom of speech. I was not really alive during the Moi era, but the stories I had, the stories I was being given when as a child of Moi, I was so scared of the guy because okay, Moi's reign ended I think in 2002, and I will be given stories as a child. I will be told that there was funny thing. There was this uncle of mine who like lied. I don't know if he really lied to me or he knew something, but then he told me that if you said something insulting towards Moi, even if you are talking to like a friend or anything, you wouldn't sleep in your house that night. And it was Moi led with fear. And so many other presidents in Kenya led in fear. But then Raila was always there to fight for the people. Even though I felt like towards the end, I felt like because you can lose so many times before you like lose hope totally. He had a strategy last elections because he was like I'm a Luo, and there's this thing in Kenya which I hope it dies with like our generation, because I feel like tribalism will end with the Gen Zs, because for the longest time in the political landscape in Kenya, it has been ruled through tribalism, right? And I feel like Raila's strategy last election was Kikuyus and Luos are natural rivals. Yeah, basically they are natural rivals. In that Kikuyus are more business oriented and Luos are more talent oriented. I don't know, the best footballers in Kenya are Luos, people from the western side of Kenya. And the best business people, the best businessmen, the best all that when it comes to business come from the central area of Kenya. So there's always been this thing, like I feel like, and I'll get into that in like the overthinkers insight, because the world is this whole round thing, and I feel like everything is a metaphor for everything. Like for example, when Drake and Kendrick were battling, right? And Kendrick is trying to prove to his fans that I can make a ball. But then Drake is trying to prove to his fans that, hey man, I can be lyrical as well. I feel like that's the war that also rages between Luos and Kikuyus. Because Kikuyus are like, hey man, we can also play football. We can also, sing. We can also do this. We can also do that. But Luos are also like, hey man, we can still be political leaders. We can still do this. Look at Barack Obama. For Kikuyus, I don't see. Off the top of my head, I don't know. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you're getting my point. But anyway, we've been mourning and rest in peace to Raila Odinga. And yeah, like just let's just let the guy rest in peace. He fought for a lot. Even though he lost the ball towards the end, he did fight for a lot. And with that being said, we are back another game week. Oh my god, it was a terrible international break. Okay, I hate international football in general. I'm not a huge fan of international football. And I took my time during the international break actually to watch some Prison Break. I got to rewatch Prison Break. And okay, my dad would always say that Prison Break is his favorite series. So like I watched it first, rewatched it. It's not been the best of international breaks because I love football personally. I really do love football. I do play football. And football, you could say football is my life. If you said football is my life, like that's an understatement, man. Football is my life. Anyway, we are back. Oh, actually, fun fact: Baba was an Arsenal supporter. So, like, I feel, and I've always said this. I feel like this season Arsenal will win the league. This season, this is just how I feel. They've already sacrificed Baba. I feel like they will win the season. I'm sorry about it was just there. I had to do it. I mean, yeah, it just lighthearted. I'm still mourning, but Baba was an Arsenal fan. It will be weird for Arsenal not to win the league because Baba will have died for nothing. Anyway, with that being said, on to this week's fixtures. We have Nottingham Forest against Chelsea kicking us off. Um, this is a this is a fixture that you could say that Chelsea will win easily, but Nottingham Forest also need to win because the owner appointed a new manager. The manager hasn't won any games yet. So, like Nottingham Forest, Chelsea. Personally, I'm going for a Chelsea win. I don't know. I think the goalkeeper. I think Sanchez is back after the red card against Man United, but I'm going for a Chelsea win on that one. Sunderland against Wolves. Wolves have not been flying of late, and Sunderland are brilliant. Oh my god, that team. Yeah, they played Man United the last game week, but even the manager said it that we did not expect that from United because Sunderland have like I don't know. I think championship teams should look at the model that Sunderland has employed and employ it when they are promoted because Sunderland took off running, beating teams, and Wolves haven't been at their best. As you all know, I think Wolves will be relegated this season. They've lost a lot of their main players. They lost Buem, they lost Cunha to Man United. That's basically the only one I know. But I feel like Sunderland will beat Wolves. On to Burnley against Leeds. This is a tough one. This is a toughie because Burnley have been playing well. Honestly speaking, I will give them that. They have been playing well against Premier League opposition. But then when they meet the teams that they got promoted with, like they met Sunderland, and Burnley have the record for the best defensive. I think they have the best in the championship. They have the best defensive record at the moment. There's no other team that has broken Burnley's record from last season when they were in the championship, and they are playing really well. And Leeds are also playing really well. I'm really proud of the teams that got promoted this season, by the way, because it was starting to get boring. 3 up, 3 down, like come on, let's do something else. But I feel like Burnley will beat Leeds on this one. They also at home, they have the home advantage. After an international break, you always want to be at home. Away, the players are just coming back, they want to settle in, you have the backing of the crowd. I feel like Burnley will beat Leeds. On to Crystal Palace against Bournemouth. Two teams that are playing really, really, really good football. Low key, one of the games of the game week. And I feel like Burnley lost a lot of their players, by the way. They lost Kakes. Who else? They lost a lot of their players in the transfer window, and for the manager to stabilize the team and have them playing as they are right now, and also props to Semenyo. Like Semenyo, like took up the mantle of like, okay, we lost our best players. Nobody came for me, but you know what? It's fine. I'ma show them what they are missing. And props to Semenyo, man. He's been firing. If you don't have him in your FPL team, like myself, I'll go purchase him immediately after this video. But Crystal Palace Bournemouth, I'm going for a Bournemouth win on this one, even though Crystal Palace are at home and they stand Liverpool. Okay, they played Liverpool off the park their last game week. I think I'm allowed to change my mind, right? I'm going for a Crystal Palace win over Bournemouth. They have the home advantage. I'm going for a Palace win. Brighton, Newcastle. One thing about this fixture is that you never know what you're getting with these two teams. These are two teams that have been really inconsistent this season, especially Brighton, because Brighton on their day can beat anyone. But there are days when it doesn't just click. Honestly, I don't rate their manager, but and Newcastle have the best midfield in the league. I'll argue that with anyone. They have the best midfield in the league. Brighton are at home. Newcastle, I'm going for a Newcastle win on this one. Man City, Everton. Man City are at home. Everton are not firing. I feel like this is too easy. I'm going for a Man City win. Arsenal versus Fulham. I'm going for an Arsenal win. Arsenal actually really need to win this type of games because these are the games that have cost them the league in their last seasons. The Fulhams, the Brentfords, the Bournemouth, the Crystal Palace. Those are the teams that have cost them results. And with Liverpool slipping up 1 point ahead, I feel like all gas, no brakes on this. Arsenal, I feel like will beat Fulham. They are at home. After an international break, you always want to play at home. So I feel like Arsenal will beat Fulham. Tottenham, Aston Villa. I'm going for damn, this is gonna be tough. Tottenham are flying actually. Aston Villa haven't really had the best of starts. I'm going for a Tottenham win. And now for the game of the game week, Liverpool, Man United, the biggest rivalry in world football, even though one team at the moment is flying and the other one isn't really flying. But on this one, as you all know, I'm a Man United fan. And um, I'll always come into an argument with red tinted glasses. And on this one, call me stupid. Maybe I am. I don't know. But they had Cody. Was it Cody Gakpo on international duty was substituted precautionally? But who else? I think they have a mini crisis, injury crisis. But I feel like this will be a tight game at Anfield as well after an international break. Man United away. I'm going for a Man United win. I've said it. I've I've said it. I'm going for Man United win on this one. Then West Ham, Brentford. I feel like Brentford will beat West Ham. West Ham are due a result, but I don't think they have what it takes to beat Brentford. Also, props to Brentford as well, by the way, because they lost Mbuemo, they lost Wisa, but they are still playing some really good football. They also lost their manager, But props to Brentford. Actually, they are playing really well. So yeah, that was my gambler's insight. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the video if you enjoy the content. Give me some feedback. I'm still a growing channel. Um, yeah, and I will holla at y'all on the next one.